Hey, big show today, but let's cut to the chase. Today's guest applied what I would consider simple marketing strategy that has doubled her business in the past 12 months. It's a strategy that you could implement in a heartbeat. And in fact, if you're not doing it already, you're very, very naughty. Now listen up. Boy, I sounded like a school teacher then, didn't I? Hey, before the naughtiness begins on episode 370 of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, the marketing gold that's about to rain down on us all is made possible thanks to Cornerstone and thanks to 52ways.biz. Now, 52ways.biz is a free one-day live event which I have attended, and I'm going to reveal 3 things that I learnt at it halfway through this episode. It's hosted by small business expert Dale Beaumont, and it's for business owners who want to grow. Simply want to grow. Grab your free tickets over at 52ways.biz before it is too late. And hey, by the way, some new dates are announced as well, which is pretty exciting. And we're also made possible by Cornerstone, which is an Aussie-owned, family-run outsourcing business based in the Philippines. In fact, I love what they're doing so much for small businesses in Australia. I own part of the company. If you need help getting stuff done without spending a fortune, call Cornerstone on 02 9037 8275. Now, let's get on with the show.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I am your host, Timbo Reid. You, infinitely more importantly, are a motivated business owner ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. This will be the 370th time we have helped you do that. Welcome back if you've been listening for a while. If it's your first time round, you are in for a treat. Let me know when you've gone back through the archive because there's plenty of gold in there. I've got to tell you. Hey, big show today. Melissa Westcott from BigOnShoes. She joins us. She shares how she's built an online and offline shoe business from the middle of nowhere and doubled its revenue in the past 12 months with a simple marketing hack. I show you how to get more online love for your business with another simple marketing hack. Got some big news about some upcoming guests. Got some treats in store. I've got a marketing problem that I can't solve. Need your help. And we go back into the vault, revisiting a rather inspiring past episode. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Coming up later in the show, I will let you know about some amazing guests you'll meet in the coming weeks, one of which I'll drop a keyword for you, Master Chef. Huh? Gotta love that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's a good interview though. But right now, let's meet today's successful business owner, Melissa Westcott from BigOnShoes, which is Australia's home to that a word? No. It's Australia's home to plus-sized fashion shoes. Now, I was introduced to Melissa from past guest and digital nomad Mark Phillips from Business in Bare Feet. Had some great feedback on that recent episode. Hitting me up on Facebook Messenger. Boy, oh boy, isn't that happening a lot these days? Just another way for people to get in contact with you. Mark said this: "Hey, Timbo, let me introduce you to Melissa Westcott from BigOnShoes. At a function today, she was telling me how she loves your show." Love that. She's the one. Yet, she in her own right is an amazing startup owner. From her kitchen table in Moranbah in central Queensland, for your overseas listeners, that is otherwise known as the middle of nowhere, I say lovingly, Melissa, she set up an online shoe store for ladies, in inverted commas, with large feet. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Today, she's one of the world's largest suppliers of women's shoes to the global transvestite and sex change market, but also basically to women with large feet. She's doubled, back to Mark, she's doubled her business lately from one of your podcasts. Oh, love that. Let me know if you'd like an interview with her. I'll set up an intro. Damn right, Mark, I'd love an interview. And I got one. So, thank you, Mark. Without further ado, here's Melissa. Well, Melissa, welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show.
Thank you very much. Bit exciting.
Good on you. Me too. Hey, tell me, I've got to ask, what's the biggest sized shoe you've ever sold?
Size 17.
Size 17?
It's about a 36 centimetre shoe.
Whew. That's a large shoe.
It is large. Well, you got to be careful. I'm a size 14, so
Okay.
I'm quite a large foot as well. So
Righto.
careful what you say.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's move on to the more business type questions.
Yeah.
Tell me, Big on Shoes, where'd the idea come from?
Just my own personal struggle, solved my own problem, really. I grew up having big feet, and so when I was in year 7, I had size 12 feet, and I remember having to fly to Brisbane with my mum on a couple of occasions to buy shoes for Debs and formals and graduations and my primary school graduation, just so I could have a pair of pretty girl shoes.
Wow.
And just desperation. My mum and I always joked about the fact that one day we would just start our own company and make it happen. And when I was on my first lot of maternity leave, I said to my husband, and he laughed at me, and I said, I'm going to make this happen. And then I went and talked to our mortgage broker and said, how can I make this happen? And he laughed at me, and I said, well, 2 people have laughed at me, now I've got to prove them all wrong, and it's set to work.
Up until then, had you ever run your own business?
No, I hadn't. I'm a primary school teacher trained and was working, had transitioned over to a high school and was working in business development.
I love it.
And special projects. So had that. My parents both had small businesses, so I worked through my mum's small business. There was a lot of slave labour happening there from an early age.
Yeah, but that's so fascinating. So as a teacher, I mean, you got really no you got life experience, no business acumen. So was it a scary decision, or did it just feel completely right as these others laughed at you?
No, it felt so right. There wasn't no part of me that thought at any stage it wasn't the right idea to go with. I had to give it a go, and I knew I could do it. My career had changed and evolved quite a lot over the 10 years prior to starting Big on Shoes, and every job that I ever had, I just threw myself into and learnt what I needed to, and I knew I could do the same with this. That wasn't where there was no confidence issues there. It probably should have been, but there wasn't.
Well, why should there have been?
Now I was so young when I started it. I probably think now that I probably should have held back and found out some more research. But I think that allowed me to go on the journey. I definitely learned on the job, and it was definitely a good thing that way. That's how I learn best. So
I'm always fascinated by people who haven't necessarily run a small business. They start one. Do you remember that feeling of it being right? Was it like a really deep-seated feeling?
It did. I never questioned myself for doing it. I remember when I started it, I went straight into the principal of my school and told him this is what I'm now doing at night, and eventually I'm going to resign. I was planned and ready for that straight ahead. So I guess it did feel right from the beginning. I've never actually thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But, I never doubted that it wouldn't work. I hoped it would work a lot quicker than it has. It's been a long journey.
What was the?
But it's been right.
So you said you wish you maybe had delayed the launch of it. Why do you say that?
I was very young and having my family. So I had 3 kids. So once I launched the business, I was already pregnant with my second child, and I ended up having 3 children under 3. Plus, I was working full time through that transition. So you start your business, but you keep your real job until you can support yourself to move out of it. So it was just a time factor. But I wouldn't have done it. I've said to my husband, I wouldn't have done it a different way. That's me. I definitely throw myself in 100% to everything I do. In an ideal world, there would have been more hours in the day to fit everything in.
But they say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. So that clearly applied to you.
A few people have said that to me, and now I run the other way when they talk to me.
Great. So you launched Big on Shoes 10 years ago as an e-commerce play, right?
Yes, we did. We were completely online, and that was 10 years ago. that's, I think, where most of the laughing came from when I told people I'm going to create a shoe store from Moranbah. So we live in Moranbah, so we're in central Queensland, and I'm going to sell worldwide. And I remember sitting with my dad and explaining to him, this is how an online store works, and this is how people buy from you. And he was just blown away. I don't understand. I had to keep explaining, and I think it took quite a few years for my dad to get that a business can be in a computer. But it was that generational gap.
Wow. So, there's a whole lot of things that are quite funny here. You're selling very large shoes. You are opening an online store 10 years ago. You were having a family of 3 children. You're in a full-time job. You're a machine.
Oh, I don't know about that.
This is a great example of, if you love something, it just doesn't seem like work, and clearly you were bouncing out of bed each day and getting what you needed to do done on the home front.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
Loved?
Definitely.
Is that a past tense?
No, love it. Oh, it's changed. It's not my baby as much anymore.
Right.
For the first 5 years, it was just me. I was at home. It was at home in our house, so we built a spare room and put the whole business into the room, and it grew, and now it's a team. So I feel like the business has completely transitioned from where it was when it was just me, and it almost feels like I closed a chapter and opened a new chapter when we moved out of home and opened retail stores. And it's changed. I can almost go, well, that was a different business to where I am today completely.
So the business, Melissa, back then were you holding stock or were you drop shipping?
We were holding stock. We did a small amount of drop shipping, but not much. The first lot of shoes we ever sold, I got made in Spain myself, and with our own brand, and it worked really well. But I definitely didn't have the right target market in mind. I'd done a heap of research and worked out what my target market was going to be. But then as my customers came on board, the customers that were finding me weren't that ideal market that I originally created. So then I had to transition to make the right market and get the right shoes.
Tell me about that. Tell me about the right and wrong market. You are dealing with women with large feet, aren't you? Or is that what you thought you were dealing with?
Yeah, no, definitely still that. When I first started out, because the market that I couldn't get was nice shoes to wear to races and higher-end shoes. Mm-hmm. So when I first opened, the shoes that we were buying in and sourcing and making ourselves was higher-end leather shoes with really nice heels and the fancy shoes that you might only wear once or twice a year.
Yep.
From a business sense, that's not great because our customers only need them once or twice a year. So then our customers are saying they needed work shoes, they needed casual shoes to wear to the park, they needed sandals to wear to the pool with their togs and that. So I say we because now we're a we, but back then it was an I. I had to change it, and we had to find different brands and bring different brands in that could meet the expectations of our customers, because we found once they found us, they were staying with us and not going anywhere, and they
Customer
needed
for
shoes
life.
for every occasion. Yeah, definitely.
How much of a niche are you? I mean, there'd be other people selling large-size shoes for women, but I do love a niche.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah, clearly. Are you like the only one in Australia doing this, or?
No, there's 8. I've got 8 on my competitor list that I sort of sit and watch. There's a few smaller and a few probably similar-sized businesses. But no, and it is an emerging, so we're sort of watching other companies.
Tell us about that competitor list. Do you watch it weekly? Do you have someone monitoring it?
We used to be really passionate about watching what they were doing and what they were buying, and it kind of got to the point we were making decisions based on what they were doing.
Yep.
So I stopped. We check in on it once a season now, and sometimes at home if I'm sitting watching a bit of Netflix, I might jump on their site. But we had to pull back. It was a really conscious decision to say we're getting caught up in what they're doing and not focusing on what we're doing. Went back to that call. When we opened our retail stores, our focus really shifted, and I've had to force ourselves back, and we've gone back over the last 6 months going, but what is our core business? What are we trying to do? Where do we need to get to in the next 12 months? And particularly with our website, because when you open a retail store, you lose all your time. And we definitely lost all our time, and now we're trying to pull it back to the website.
So I want to talk about core focus, but you mentioned retail stores. So you were like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're about like 6 years in to an e-commerce play. And then you go, you know what, we should open some shops.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, that's sort of how it happened. I had to, we couldn't sit in our house anymore here in Moranbah. My kids were too rowdy and I couldn't actually work and
Right.
everything. So I made the decision. I'd already resigned from my position at the schools, was working full-time at home, and the business was just growing phenomenally. Once I started answering the phone from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at night, our customers knew they could ring us, made the world of difference to us.
Right.
And I had to move out, so we started looking at different places I could put a warehouse in, and for the same rent I could get a retail shop as I could just a warehouse, so why not?
Okay, so the
we,
idea...
threw it in and, yeah.
The idea wasn't, hey, we're going to get a shop, but the shop was like
No.
a bonus to actually having a warehouse outside of the home, right?
Yes, that's right. It was originally just going to be a warehouse with a showroom. In Moranbah, we had a shoe shop, a famous shoe shop, Hollis Bowlers, that closed down a few years earlier when she retired. And there was a gap in the market, so we knew we'd be able to sell shoes. So it was originally just going to open a showroom. And from there, it evolved the moment I had a chance to have a retail store. So now we've got the bags and the pretty necklaces and all the fun stuff that goes with having a boutique shoe store. So we're a really boutique-y shop. We don't sit in a traditional shoes only with two bags. We carry lots of other stuff.
Okay, but that makes sense to open one shop because you've got some warehouse space, but then you go and open another shop in Mackay, a few hundred K away. How did that make sense? Or didn't it?
It doesn't. My sister became available, so I've been trying to poach my sister to come into the business for some time. There was an opportunity to get her in, and she's based in Mackay. We had spent a lot of time focusing on opening outlets in Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne. We want to get into the capital cities. But because of the growth we'd had over a period of time, I was quite scared to just go and open a store in Brisbane without having my systems and processes in place, which has become my focus over the last couple of years. It definitely wasn't at the beginning, but once you put on staff, systems and focuses and plans and processes is what I needed to have happen.
Go on.
Yep. Yeah, so Katie became available. So we looked at the process of how could we open a shop in Mackay in our market. We tested it 6 months earlier with a pop-up shop to see what our market was like in Mackay. And then from there it worked, and we've opened, we've been almost 18, 19 months now we've been running in Mackay.
So you've still got two stores, because I've spoken to a number of e-commerce business owners over the journey, and there is a real mix of some open a retail outlet and love it, others open it and can't wait to close it. I had Kate Morris from Adore Beauty on recently, and she opened one and just completely took her eye off the ball and closed it quite a few years later, by the way, not just kind of 6 months later. You read the media and e-commerce players opening up retail outlets makes sense because people can come and experience the product. I don't know, is there a right way or not?
I think it depends. Like Moranbah as a standalone store works fantastically. Mackay, we have more competitors in Mackay in the fashion market because we also stock smaller shoes in our retail stores. And once we opened the retail stores, our website went from size 11 to 15 to size 5 to 15. So we opened ourselves completely up. I definitely don't think it's the wrong decision what we did. It got us to where we are, and we've grown a huge amount over the last 2 years, especially since Mackay came on board. We're looking at the moment to figure out where we're going forward, and is it the right decision? I've got some external people that don't have their heart invested in this the amount we do to help us make those decisions now, to find out what we need to do to keep going.
You're calling in the consultants?
I am.
Goodness me.
I've had to. We've had to get a little bit of consulting help just to get that outside perspective, and it is making a lot of difference for us. Most of my accountant is one of the best people, our best consultant I could ever have. He gives me the best honesty that I've ever received in my business.
You need that. Hey, you were going back to target audience. You had a bit of a surprise early on too, didn't you, with transgender people becoming like a secondary target audience almost? Or primary?
Yeah, it was. We always joked about drag queens being an ideal market for us, and the Sydney Mardi Gras, and but we didn't. Well, that was it wasn't in the media the way it is now with people transgendering in the process they go through. But quite early on, I know my husband and I were both in the car with our kids. on speakerphone, and I took a customer call because I had everything diverted through to my mobile. Took a call pretending I was in the warehouse and helping as much as I could, and it was a fella who was going through the process of transitioning, and I still remember Toby's face. He's just looking at me. What is going on here?
Is Toby your husband or your son?
My husband. No, my husband. And, yeah, so it was quite interesting, and that was when it all started. And once I started having conversations, and we got more and more referrals from people as they went through the journey, because we were able to help them find the right shoes as they transitioned through. And because we do carry a little bit of unisex shoes because we are larger sizes, it was more the process of once they're transitioning, they like a feminine shoe that still looks masculine if they still haven't transitioned all the way.
Right.
And just the discreet service and the support we gave them. Once we started working with customers going through the process, we understood it better, and I was definitely able to help them more.
Well, I imagine that'd be a very tight-knit community too, and once you've done a good job with a transgender person, you would get good referrals. That's kind of what happened?
Yeah, it was. We definitely did. It's quietened down a little bit now. I don't know whether we don't do as much or whether we're serving them as well online. We definitely don't get the personal phone calls as much.
Right.
But it's definitely still there. We constantly get orders through, and we've got discreet packaging, and if they need that, and it's really nice. It's kind of, we've been through a couple not that long ago, and one gentleman going to a lady went through the process and actually had a coming out party, and we helped them find the right shoes to go with the dress.
Love it.
And then the phone call afterwards, oh, thank you so much, you made me feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's no different to the 13-year-old girl that's never had a pair of female shoes that's going to her year 8 party or ball, whatever they call them, helping them. And they're just so grateful. And I know myself, I wore my dad's thongs for 3 years. That was my only pair of shoes.
Oh, wow.
And once you can put on a pair of feminine shoes and you actually feel like a girl again, it's pretty awesome.
I know what you mean. Hey, can
You do.
can you wrap some numbers around where BigOnShoes is at?
I definitely won't give out specific
Come
numbers.
on, there's no one listening.
No. I hope there's lots of people listening. We've doubled our business in the last 12 months. That's probably our biggest thing.
Yeah.
So we're more, if I won't talk about specific numbers, our conversions, and that is where we're focusing on at the moment. So we're pushing our conversion rates up, and we're focusing. I don't know what specific numbers to give you. What kind of
you don't want to talk turnover? I don't know. I mean, it's a sizable business now. You got is it 10 staff?
We have 8 staff. They're all different between full-time and casual, yeah. Okay. 8 staff. We've got the 2 stores and online. We carry, we're up to 300 styles of shoes at the moment, which is really big for us.
Significant.
And we have invested for our summer. So what we've been caught, which was completely unexpected, in February this year, we really dropped. Our sales dropped. Our customer inquiries dropped, and we couldn't figure out what was going on, and had another competitor come in the marketplace that we weren't aware of. And we'd been so busy December, January, we hadn't actually got a grip of our stock, and we actually found out we were sold out of our shoes in size 12 and 13, which are our key sizes. And we were in the good styles. We had a few fillers, but we actually got to a point where we've sold out of our stock. So now we've had to do this huge investment for summer because of the way the business is growing, and we order our stock so far ahead of time. We didn't have the ability to just quickly get more stock on hand, so that's a big issue for us. And
Gotcha. Listeners, I am talking to Melissa Westcott. She is the founder and owner of BigOnShoes. Melissa, you mentioned that in the last 12 months your business has doubled. Now, you are a 10-year-old business. What have you done to double your business in that period of time?
We went back to our purpose. We really focused on what are we doing, how are we giving our customers what we want. We looked at what we were doing and found all the gaps. So we lost our focus in that we weren't the experts in our shoes anymore. We were focusing on customer service, and we were focusing on a quick shipping process and our retail stores and amazing social media and amazing photos. We were focusing on all of that, but we kind of lost our track of we are the experts in getting our shoes to fit our customers with hard-to-fit feet.
So hold that thought. Hold that thought. I want to explore experts, but everything you just mentioned Sounds like a really good thing. You were focusing on customer service. You were focusing on quick turnaround shipping. You were focusing on having all the best shoes in stock. They're all good things, but they weren't enough. They weren't enough to double your business.
No, they weren't. They grew our business. And we retained our customers, and we had more repeat customers, and our conversion rates went up. But what was lacking was we didn't have all the knowledge we needed about our shoes. So if I go back 7-8 years ago, every shoe on our website had physical measurements on it. They had the weight of the shoes, all these different features to help the women understand how they're going to fit their shoes better. We focused on our fitting guide, and that's when I had a really small customer base, a small range of shoes, and I could do it. But once we add everything else in, the hours in the day disappear to do all those smaller things that help us produce a better quality shoe online. So we've gone back to that. This is what our customers need, and that's what's actually helping us a huge amount.
So this is what you talk about as being going back to purpose.
Yep, definitely back to purpose. What are we doing?
What's the big... I just want to understand that more, because I think it's clearly it worked for you, doubling your business. Is there a question a business owner listening needs to ask themselves in order to get back to purpose?
Well, we went through the process of going, what are our customers' objections of buying off us? And one of them is they don't know whether the shoe's going to fit. And then the standard e-commerce, is it going to get to me in time? Can I afford the shipping and all those? We'd already answered all the generic questions, but our first question our customers are going to ask is are these shoes going to fit me, and is it going to be a waste of my time buying shoes online, especially if they're a first-time customer that has spent 6, 7, 10, 20 years buying shoes and never having any of them fit. So that was their objection with shopping with us. So we've gone back to that objection, how can we meet it? So we've gone through fitting guides and style guides, and we've actually got a process now, and it's using lead pages. So we're using the current buzz thing that's happening. So we've got our process through our lead pages and our funnels to capture all that data along the way.
Okay, just explain that. I get it. Lead pages being landing page templates, if you like, for many listeners won't know about lead pages. So you have gone and created a series of landing pages depending on what people's needs are, and you capture, I'm making this up, tell me if I'm wrong, you capture their email addresses and then take them on a journey, helping them make a more informed decision?
Definitely, yep. So we've gone through what are their objections, what aren't we answering on their site, and then we've gone through our landing pages and to find out, put them through the journey of how to get there. So if they're inquiring, we've got one where they can just measure your foot and tell us what your measurements are. Let us help you find the right fit for your shoes. And we've gone through then a process, and Katie has been absolutely phenomenal in testing this and making it work. And every week it's changing. It's not something that we've set and left. I'm a huge data person, so I'm looking at the data, okay, why isn't that working to where we want it to be, what's our target, reviewing it and changing it to make it a living funnel. It's not a set funnel that we're leaving alone forever.
Give us an example of where you look at the funnel, notice an insight and make a change.
Between Google Analytics and then we're using lead pages for our landing pages, so we've been using both of them. We're also tracking the conversions of those customers through their journey, so watching their email addresses, when does it pop up, when can we monitor them. Recently, I've actually been going through and targeting specific customers as they come through the process and watching them more specifically, because when are they engaging with us, when are we getting phone calls, so we can see when are we meeting a need and when we're not meeting a need. It's just, Data is gold. Yeah.
Didn't know you were such a geek.
Oh, yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Tell me one other thing.
I'm definitely not a fashion person. I'm the computer person.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm sure there are fashion people in the business, and, you've got to still have an eye for great product and things, but it's like anything, it's like with SEO. SEO is great if you get people to a web page that then converts. And I suppose likewise, It's great to have great product, but if you're not getting people there through clever messaging, then it's a needle in a haystack, right?
Yeah, and we found this. We've got this huge spreadsheet that we fill in every week, and then we get our end of month, and we've got our targets. So we'll track our conversions to our visits, to our bounce rate.
Wow.
And I just pull it in from all our different sources and look at it into what are our abandoned carts. So we're looking at that, and then I'm like, okay, well, this is where I need my business to be, and this is how we got a lot of our growth happening. I need my business to be at, let's just say, $1 million a year. I need to be there. So I had two options. One, I could either increase my conversion rate and organically grow my search results, which we were doing. We were jumping up every month another 2,000 in our search results, and we could grow it and work on our conversion rate. Or I could just go pay a heap of money to Google Ads and get the customers I want based on my current average conversion rate. And I said, I just couldn't understand the logic in going and paying all the money on Google Ads until I fix this conversion rate. And I do a little bit of mentoring around the region for helping other businesses. And I'm watching people that are just spending huge amounts of money on Google Ads because then they're getting their 10,000 hits, which then gets them their 5 sales, instead of focusing on the 2,000 hits they're getting naturally and getting them as a higher conversion rate. And that's what we've done. We've really focused on conversion before we spend the money getting the bulk audience, because otherwise it's a waste of money.
Absolutely. I get it. You've also, you told me in our little pre-interview that content has been huge for you as well. You kind of got a content strategy?
As quickly as we can at the moment. We've got to focus, so we've been doing a lot of training, so probably where I'm at in the business journey at the moment is I've gone back and engaged in a heap of training to get myself more skilled in the areas that I'm missing.
Where do you get the training from? Online?
I do it online. I have enrolled in the Entourage down in Sydney. Which has been, I'm going down again there this week and next week to do some more courses, do some more of the short workshops, which has been really good, and the learning that you do through that.
You got to go to Dale Beaumont's 52ways.biz event. That's going to be amazing.
Oh, hang on, I'll have to write it down.
There you go. That's, in fact, happening soon in your part of the woods. It's a one-day event. I won't go into any detail because I talk about it elsewhere in the show, but you'd love that. So you seek training, you go to events, and is that around content that you're kind of focusing on at the moment?
Everything. So I've got 4. So we've got operational, we've got e-commerce, we've got HR policies and procedures. I sit there, and then I have business growth. So I've broken the businesses into 4 areas, and then I focus on a different one each month. So at the moment, we're really sitting in our digital marketing, social media this month. That's where my focus is.
Love it.
So that from there, with all the training, I'm going and doing it all, and because I can't afford for all my staff to come and do it with me, as much as we'd all love to go on a junket, when I come home, it's just creating huge action plans for the girls and I then to work for, and poor Katie gets the majority of it. We're going through, and this is what we need to do to focus on it, so we can get the right content. So it's not just creating content for content's sake. I'm finding out what is the right things I need to be doing, and a huge part of this has been landing pages and going through the process and making that offer. Because an e-commerce fashion store, besides the 10% off for giving us your email address, there was never really much in the market we could do, and that's where we've brought in, our objection of our customers is their sizing, not getting the right fit. Well, let's use that as our tool to bring our customers on the journey with us.
I love that, Melissa. I love the fact that you're addressing all the objections of customers and tackling them head on, because, once you knock them down, there are less reasons for them not to buy from you, right?
Yeah.
Pretty simple, this business stuff.
We can meet the other stuff, it's just that key objection.
Love it. Hey, Melissa, thank you so much for taking us inside Big On Shoes. I think it's a great story, and I look forward to when you next double your business, give us a ring and we'll get you back.
I definitely will. I can't wait for that day too.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, there you go, team. Melissa Westcott from Big On Shoes. I've got a sneaking suspicion that the next doubling of her business won't be that far away. What about you? Hey, coming up, I share my top 3 attention grabbers from that fireside chat with Melissa. Plus, I'm going to reveal how you can get a little bit of more online lovin' for your business, that is. Hey, first, time for a little karaoke. Support for this show comes from a very in-tune Cornerstone, an Aussie-owned, family-run offshoring business based in the Philippines. Not only is Cornerstone in tune with the pain points shared by many Aussie business owners, they also have some very in-tune employees. You see, I recently asked a few of them, what's their go-to karaoke song, and would they sing it? Here's what they said. Actually, here's what they sung.
You are the one who makes me happy.
Strangers making the most of the dark. casual goodbyes, why the chill in your embrace, the expression on your face.
Touch me, tease me, until I can't deny this love and feeling.
Minsan lang kitang iibigin.
Cornerstone, where your offshoring experience can hit new heights. To see how you can benefit from offshoring, book a free, no-obligation feasibility assessment now at cornerstonebusinesssolutions.com.au or give them a call on 02 9083 6689 and tell them Timbo sent you. Oh, goodness me. Oh, I do love that ad. Hey, we're also made possible thanks to 52ways.biz, which is this insanely helpful one-day live event that's touring Australia and New Zealand at the moment, which I attended only last week. Dale Beaumont is the host of it. In it, over the course of 8 hours, he reveals 52 ways to grow your business, including, here's 3 things he includes. A simple tool that finds anyone's email address. It's incredible. He shares the key characteristics of high-converting websites. They're incredible. And he reveals I'm using the word incredible a bit, but the incredible power of installing Facebook pixels on your website. It's a simple thing to do. It's free. And then when you embrace Facebook advertising, it's a game changer. Dale's added some dates to this tour because it's been so insanely popular. So head over to 52ways.biz. That's 52ways.biz and grab your free tickets for you and a mate. Seriously, you don't want to miss out on it. Righto, my top 3 attention grabbers from my chat with BigOnShoes, Melissa Westcott. Thanks to 52ways.biz and Cornerstone. Attention grabber number 1. Get back to your purpose. Now, this one's hard to argue given it's doubled Melissa's business over the past 12 months. So, if you find yourself trying to be everything to everyone, then maybe it's time to stop, refocus, and figure out why you started that beautiful business of yours in the first place. What was that big issue your clients had that you went about solving? Get clear on it, revisit it, apply it into your business. Attention grabber number 2, get clear on your customers' objections. Then, one by one, create marketing and improvements to your overall offering that address them head on. If your customers have no objections, then all they can really do is, well, buy from you. Sounds easy, right? Attention grabber number 3, track your numbers. Now, I'll be the first to admit that this one's not my strong suit. However, it clearly works. I've spoken to way too many successful business owners who do this. So if numbers aren't your thing, then find someone who loves them, your accountant, a coach, maybe a staff member, and get them to set up a dashboard for you that you can track at least on a weekly basis. That dashboard may include sales, email open rates, database signups, new clients, Google rankings, whatever numbers mean the most to you. Now, that's what grabbed my attention, team. Now, I every week say I'd love to know what grabbed yours. You know how I do that if you're a long-time listener? And then I say head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/ the episode number, in this case /370. Well, not many of you are doing that. And I notice that is a bit of a conundrum with a lot of podcasters out there. So I'd love your feedback somehow. How can I get you, and I get that you listen to this show when you're in the train or driving to work or at the gym or walking the dog, and it's hard to respond. That said, I would love to hear what you think of a particular episode. Am I pushing too hard? Is it just too hard to get on Twitter or maybe Facebook or LinkedIn? Send me an email telling me what you thought. I love the idea of people responding in the show notes, which is that summary of the episode. So again, smallbusinessbigmarketing.com /370 is where you could respond to this episode. But, you know, I've had some episodes where I've had like 50 comments and then other episodes where it's a bit of a ghost town. It's like tumbleweeds going down the screen. Again, I get that you're on the move. Maybe I'm pushing too hard, but let me know. Either way, I reveal all my contact details at the end of every episode, so I would love to hear from you. Just maybe I just shut up from now on and go, don't tell me what you think. We move on. I'll still do the episodes. That's cool. Anyway, that's the marketing conundrum I mentioned at the top of this episode. But I would love to hear from you. smallbusinessbigmarketing.com /370.
What have you got to lose?
It's time for one simple yet effective marketing idea that you can implement immediately. One that's not going to cost you a fortune and that might just generate you more awareness, more inquiry, and ultimately more sales. Gotta love that. I call today's idea the Get a Little Forum Lovin' Hack. Long title, but you know what I mean. If you want to connect with more like-minded people who can help grow your business, try finding a niche-focused forum to participate in. Now, most social media-focused business owners think Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn is where all the action is online, turning a blind eye to forums. But forums can be such a great place to go when you want to exchange ideas with prospects. Get honest feedback about your offerings, network with people, learn new skills and find more customers. So, here's my 3 steps to getting more forum lovin'. McLovin', if you've watched that film. Otherwise, you won't find that funny. Step number 1, identify forums to join by going to Google and typing your topic plus the word forum in the search bar. Spend time sniffing around, deciding which ones are the best fit for you. You can also take a look at more popular and well-established forum community sites like Reddit, LinkedIn, they've got lots of groups on there, and Quora when trying to decide which forum you want to participate in. Step 2, when you find a forum that floats your boat, find the introductions thread so that you can start things off by telling people a little bit about yourself and your company. Just don't go on too long, you know what I mean? Step 3, bookmark the forum and make a diary note to participate in discussions at least once per week. Then bump it up to twice a week, then 3 times a week. Got the picture? The more time you can spend interacting with people inside the forum, the more credibility and return on investment you're going to get. And here's the pro tip. When responding to other forum members' questions, be helpful. Avoid sales speak. Avoid marketing speak. Just be the most helpful person in the forum. Did you know that being helpful releases the feel-good drug dopamine into the bloodstream? So does eating chocolate and having sex. Make of that what you will. That's my 3 steps to getting some online lovin' through forums. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com /370 where you'll find a link to this post plus some additional resources to bring this idea to life, including some tips on the best etiquette for forum participation. So, what have you got to lose? That almost wraps up another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. Do you enjoy it? I hope so. Love to know. Now, there's plenty of marketing gold coming your way in the weeks ahead, including a chat with the fellow responsible for Swiss Vitamin's multi-billion-dollar success, plus a photographer who got tired of taking photos and is now running the business of his dreams, plus one of Australia's leading chefs reveals what appearing on MasterChef as a master chef has done for his personal and business brands. Oh yeah, so much to come. Love bringing it to you. Hey, have you listened to the chat I had recently with the Healthy Guts Rebecca Coombs? She is going from strength to strength. I've been watching her on Facebook. It's incredible. Just flew business class to New York, I think, this week. Now, she was struggling selling her high-priced core product up front, so she created a fancy but very effective ascending transaction model.
I set up an initial coaching program, but I wasn't known. So the value that I was offering didn't seem great because
Nobody.
I was just a nobody.
Yep.
So I actually
sick
had
nobody.
to, a sick nobody, getting better nobody. So I actually had to put the core product on hold, and I've only just launched it in the last week. And I went and spent a lot of time, energy, money, and effort on my gifts and my product for prospects. So building the cookbooks and my product for prospect gifts. I've run a lot of workshops where I'm out talking to people all the time about gut health, and then doing things like my podcast. I've run a SIBO cooking show on YouTube. All of this free content that people can gorge on.
That right there is such a great story. And boy, does Rebecca go on to reveal some amazing tips on how to create a profitable sales funnel. You'll find that full interview plus hundreds more over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, or I'd love you to subscribe free on your favourite podcast catcher. Hey, I'd also love to hear from you. tim@timreid.com.au, that's REID. Hit me up on Twitter @Timbo Reid. Join Small Business Big Marketing's Facebook. Send me a smoke signal, carrier pigeon, whatever you've got. Reach out. Love to hear from you. Be sure to grab a free seat at Dale Beaumont's 52 Ways events that are touring Australia and New Zealand right now. More dates have been released. Head over to 52, that's 52ways.biz, and grab your seats now. Plus, if your to-do list is freaking you out, then it's time to start building that team in the Philippines. Give Cornerstone's David Warner buzz on 02 9037 8275 or visit cornerstonebusinesssolutions.com.au. They've got an incredible way to make it so easy for you to start your outsourcing journey and get your first virtual assistant. Hey, if you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, then it is now time to let another business owner or three know about it. Grab their phone, open up their podcast app, whatever they're using, search for the Small Business Big Marketing Show, hit subscribe, and then hit play and tell them to start listening, because then they're going to grow their beautiful business, right? Until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. Always have been, always will be. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.